This episode is in collaboration with Crazy Legs Events. Crazy Legs have been race timing and organising a few events of their own for over 10 years now. They work with clubs and organisations to provide event and timing services or to help them put on races, such as the newly resurrected Millbrook Monster. Crazy Legs provide chip or manual timing and will work with race organisers to find the most cost-effective solution for the event. They provide timing services for the Tameside 5k festival and other events around the country, from small local races to national championships. Get in touch with them to help you at your race timing. Contact them at crazylegsevents@gmail.com.
Welcome to episode 138 of the Local Runners podcast by runners for runners. We are your hosts. I'm Katie Kay.
I'm Colin Parkinson.
I'm Dave Norman.
I'm Sean Warburton.
And today we've got a Bramhall Runner. She's got PBs in the 5k of 23:04, the 10k 46:30, half marathon 1:46:46, and the marathon 3:49:30. She's done all 6 major marathons, finishing in Boston this year. So please welcome Caroline Canty.
Thank you.
Welcome, Caroline.
Thank you.
So, first question, tell us how you got into running.
Okay, well, I actually got into running quite late on in life. So, about 2015, I was 41. I'm 52 on Wednesday. So, I'd always been really sporty. I really enjoyed, hockey was my main sport at school, college, uni. And then after that, kind of going to the gym, working out. Loved a bit of step aerobics in the 90s as well. But then I had children and I was running them around every activity going, and I think they were about 6 and 8 at the time, and I just thought, God, I'm just not doing anything for myself. And Couch to 5k was out at the time, so I thought, well, that looks all right. But I'd never really been a runner.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, I can probably do that in my own time rather than having to go to the gym, get an 8 o'clock session. If bedtime doesn't go very well, then, you've kind of missed it. So I thought, well, I'll give that a go. Downloaded the app. Started off with that. I started it on holiday. We went on holiday and I thought, well, this is a good time to do it. I kind of finished that. And then I did my first park run in December. And I was so nervous for that, just running with other people, and it's just weird running with other people when you've been running on your own. People breathe really loudly. Someone's got annoying change jangling in their pocket, and you're like, what?
It's the maddest thing ever, that. And people are only changing the pocket.
It drives me mad. I just just put it away.
Who has change anyway?
I know,
Not anymore, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah. Keys, and you can see.
Yeah,
Sometimes in a
keys,
marathon,
yeah.
you see people with the keys.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It just drives you mad. You've just got to overtake those people.
I regularly in the winter go running with one of our previous guests, a guy called Nick Barry from Sale Harriers, and he always runs with a big set of keys in his pocket, and every step of the way you can just hear them jangling around.
Just
Drives me mad. That. Not for me. So I did the park run. I was really pleased with that, and then I have always been quite competitive with myself, so I was like, maybe I can do a 10k. So I signed up for it would have been the Great Manchester Run, kind of the one that was on this weekend. Did that, then I thought, maybe a half. I did the October half, and then and I was like, maybe it's time to do a marathon. And I'd always wanted to do London, but it was a big problem when you don't like running. About 4-5 hours.
There's also the problem of getting into London.
Exactly, yes. So I didn't realise. I was just like, I'll do the London Marathon. And then I was like, actually, it's quite hard to get in.
Yeah.
I think I'd missed the ballot. And so I started charity applications, and actually just a random conversation with a friend's mum at gymnastics. Our daughter was doing gymnastics, and she was like, what have you been up to this week? I was like, well, randomly, I've been trying to get into London Marathon. I said, but it's actually so hard. I said, I didn't realise. She was like, she worked for Bauer Media. She was like, I think one of our radio stations used to have some places. Do you want me to make some inquiries for you? So I was like, yeah, okay. So anyway, she said, yeah, we historically have 3 places. I think it was with Rock FM. I've spoken to the lady. She's going to give you a call on the Friday. So I had the call, and she was like, right. So, actually, I had entered the ballot because she said, see how you get on in the ballot. If you get a place, we'd like you to run for us. And I said, yeah, okay, fine. She said, but if you don't, we'll put you down for a place. So I was like, oh God, shit, I think I have got a race like a marathon. So I put the phone down and I didn't tell anyone for 2 weeks.
What year was this?
2017?
Right.
So
Or
that's your
2016.
first marathon being London, then?
Yeah.
That's some going there, isn't it?
So,
Yeah.
No wonder you still
aiming
do
high.
that.
Yeah.
'Cause normally you do your first marathon and that stuff.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, okay, so I've got it. So then I thought, well, actually, I'm going to need some help here. I've only been running for like a year. So I thought I'll join a running club. There's bound to be people who've done marathons before, can, you know, give me loads of tips and experience, people to run with, do long runs with. You know, didn't really know anything about that either. So I joined Bramhall Runners in the January. And, you know, that's really weird, joining a running club when you don't feel like you're a runner.
Yeah.
I was absolutely bricking it going to the first session. I don't know whether everyone feels the same, but everyone's going to be faster than me. I'm going to be left behind. I don't know anybody. They're all going to be talking about running. They're all going to be proper runners. But anyway, I kind of, you know, plucked up the confidence and headed off there and actually met, you know, really lovely people, because that's what you find kind of running clubs are full of. So that was really great. So I joined there, and that was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Yeah. So fast forward then to this year, you've just finished all the world majors in Boston. So tell us a little bit about that marathon journey then, to what led to you wanting to complete the majors, and kind of how you've gone about that over the years.
Yeah, so London was just going to be a one and done. I didn't know anything about the majors when I did London. And, you know, if I take something on, I like to do my best at it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was training well. I thought I had a plan. I was reading everything, you know, going down rabbit holes for 2 hours and still feeling none the wiser when you came back out. But, you know, I thought I was quite prepared. I'd put the training in, and I did London, and I kind of, well, basically I set myself a sub 4 hour target.
So did you get 4:01:01?
About 4:01:01.
Yeah.
and
you were
I was so
disappointed.
disappointed. I beat myself up for weeks about that. It was about 3 weeks where I finally thought, look, for God's sake, you've just done your first marathon here. You're not a runner.
Yeah.
It's actually a good time, isn't it?
It is a good time for your first marathon, yeah.
But I think I kind of was so focused on the time and hitting that, I was very naive. When I look back now, so naive about, you know, I had trained what I thought was hard, but I really had no idea what a 9-minute mile was.
But I think there is something about that 4 hour mark, isn't there? That is, I think a lot of people aspire to that, don't they, when they first start running? And I wonder why
I don't know.
that
I think
4 hours?
I think it just seems, because I'd kind of I'd just got under 2 for my half, so I kind of thought, well, that's probably okay. It's probably doable. Yeah. In your simple maths mind,
don't work like
but you don't. But you don't realise what's ahead of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I set myself that target, and what I really should have done was just gone out to enjoy my first marathon.
Yeah. So was that, what would you say to somebody kind of in that situation now?
I mean, people, I like to help people with their marathons. I'm kind of obsessed with it. And they'll say, oh yeah, I'm aiming for this time. And I'll just say, that's great. Yeah. You know, go for it. But if you don't get it, particularly in London, you know, you had your chats a couple of weeks ago. It is so busy now. Yeah, it's so difficult. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I just say, just enjoy it. Yeah. Just go out to finish it. Yeah. That's a massive achievement. Yeah. So, everyone, and you know yourself after races, everyone can tell you. They don't understand why you're beating yourself up because you've just done a marathon. Wow. Yeah. I think we're surrounded by running people. Yeah. So it kind of becomes your norm, where really we're not the norm. But it becomes your norm, and you see people achieving things and doing this and that and the other. So, you know, I was on my own journey. I was aware of that, but I was really, really disappointed, and it took a few weeks to get over that. Yeah, if I'm honest.
We were talking about that, weren't we, about normalising the marathon, because, like you say, I think it's not normal, is it, to run marathons? But because we're surrounded by runners, and the kind of influence of social media feels normal now.
Exactly. If you, you know, I work in a workplace of about 1,000 people. Yeah. there'd probably be 20 of us who've done a marathon
Yeah.
in there. That isn't the
It's
norm.
not.
Yet in your running
It
club,
feels it,
you've
doesn't
got
it?
probably
Yeah.
100 people.
Yeah.
Maybe at least 60% have
Yeah.
done marathons, and multiple as well.
Yeah, and it's what everyone talks about.
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
marathon,
yeah.
don't they? Yeah.
So
So you did London
Yeah,
in
so
2016.
that was 17.
17.
So, as I said, that was going to be one and done.
Yeah.
But obviously,
Obviously got
by
401.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
which is the flattest UK marathon, which is best for a PB. Anyway, I was kind of looking about, and I don't know what I came across, but I think actually it was talking about London was a major, and I was like, what's this major thing? I don't know what this is. So I had a look at that, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And I thought, oh, right, let's have a look at the timings of these. And actually, New York is after October half term.
Right.
So I thought, well, maybe I could convince my husband that we can do a family holiday and into America, and then I could do New York at the end of it. So
Book a holiday and drop in. Oh, while we're there, do a marathon.
oh my God, what do you know then? What's going on? Wow,
happens
what
while
we're there. So I went off to do New York.
So how did you get a place for New York?
That was sports tours. I booked with sports tours for that.
Because again, they're hard to get in, aren't they?
because again, I didn't really know about ballots, deadlines, all of that. So I saw that sports tours did it, and I thought, well, we'll just book it with them, and that's easy.
Was that a good experience booking with them?
Actually, I think sports tours are really good.
Are they?
They've got better and better and better.
Right.
I think when I went to New York, it was just kind of, they were there if you needed them.
Yeah.
They escorted you to the buses for the start line, because New York's just a nightmare logistically, so early to get over. But actually, I've done quite a few with sports tours, and I think they're really good.
Yeah.
I know you probably pay a bit more, but you get your entry, you get in. They do kind of, if you travel on your own and do marathons, it's so good because they do welcome drinks.
I've seen like the parties
on the Friday,
afterwards,
they do
they've always
after
looked
parties, really
Yeah.
good after parties. So if you are on your own, you've got like a ready-made, friendship really there, and community. So I rate them. I think they're really good, and they are getting better and better. They really do look after you, to be honest. So. But New York was always going to be an experience. I knew it was a hard one. I had worked that out and found that out. Very hilly bridges and all of that. So I thought, well, you're running around New York. Let's just go off and enjoy it. So that's what I did. I ran around with my camera, taking loads of photos and just enjoying.
Did you do it as a family holiday then?
We did, yeah, we did. We obviously kind of family came to London, supported me, and then New York, and they have been on the journey with me as well. Yeah, so New York, that was really good, enjoyed that. So I was like, oh, what could we do? What could we do next? In the meantime, I'd always just done kind of halves and marathons really. Yeah. But whilst I was at Bramhall, I met Jenny Pickard. She did loads of races. I became friends with her. And so she encouraged me to do loads of other things as well. So she suggested cross country might be fun. So I started doing that with her. It is actually not at the time, but afterwards. In some of the microclimates that these places have.
Can't even run on the road at the moment.
So yeah, just loads of runs, and so then I thought, right, okay, next marathon, and I think that was Berlin.
Right.
So I did that one with sports tours as well, actually. And Berlin was good. Oh, so in between that, so I wanted to go back for the sub 4.
Right.
So actually I thought, well, I'll just do Manchester. Make it easy for yourself. You're in your own bed at night, preparation and all that. So I did that after New York, and again, another failed attempt. I just went out too quickly. Yeah. I got a bit cocky. I didn't take heed of my own advice of going out too fast, and I thought I could do a time that I was not trained for. Yeah. So I blew up before halfway, and I knew I was in trouble, and then I was just like, oh, I'll be on this bloody sweeper bus. And then I was like, no, I've not done all this training to get on the sweeper bus. I'm getting that bloody medal if I walk it. And anyway, picked myself up, and I did 4:04 for that one in the end, after a bit of a disaster in the middle.
What had you done in New York? What was your time in New York?
4:13.
Right.
Tough.
It is really tough. Yeah, no, not at all.
Not
at all. I was really happy with that. And then the following year, Manchester again, and I did get my sub 4, so that was 3:54. So I was absolutely delighted with that. Really, really pleased. So
happy enough.
Hey,
What next?
not yeah.
What
Well,
next?
never.
Now I've done
So
that.
I'm on the journey now. So
Yeah.
So then signed up for Berlin, and I did that, and that was another PB. So that's 3:53. But really, on the face of it, it seemed like a really good run, but it was really tough.
Yeah.
And I started well, and I don't know whether it was kind of lack of a plan or I'd had a bit of an ankle niggle going into it, but I'd said, right, 8 30-minute miles for the first half and then see how you feel.
Yeah.
And I did that, executed that perfectly. And I don't know if my brain was then like, right, we've done that, so let's just chill out for a bit.
Yeah.
Because I just slowed right down. I couldn't get any pace going. So then you get where you deem it and you're going, oh, sod it, oh, it's another marathon, so what? You know, I was fundraising for a friend's charity, Usher Kids UK. I was like, listen, you know, money for them, don't worry about it. You know, who cares? No one cares about it except about you, but, you know. So I kind of had 6 miles where I was just plodding along, and it's basically like I'd had a recovery run in the middle, the wilderness miles, I called it. And then, like, when I run, I always check in at 20 miles, and I just think, right, you know, I say an hour to go, even though it isn't, but that's the most mass I can work out at that time, an hour to go. And I looked at my watch and I thought, oh, I could still do sub 4 here if I got to move on. So I thought, right, well, that's what I'll do. And I felt really good, actually. So all the people that passed me midway, I was flying past them at the end, and actually kind of ran my fastest miles, kind of mile 23, and then finished 3:53. So I was dead chuffed with that, and that was kind of a lot of mental resilience to really kind of pick yourself after that as well. So you learn something every time. Absolutely. And I was really chuffed with that.
Just shows you as well, a lot of people you hear that, don't you? We probably all know ourselves. You go to that such a dark place and think it's all over, but then you do come out the other side, don't you?
Yeah.
It's weird, the marathon like that.
I can resonate with that because you can lose concentration in the marathon if you're not careful. You need to concentrate.
Yeah, you do. Like say, switch off and
if you had goals.
Yeah.
And I think that you know, I couldn't have done a better first half.
Yeah.
It was spot on, and then
you just went
my brain was like, oh, we've done what we needed to do. I don't know whether it was the plan or you know what. So anyway, I decided that you've got to have a plan going forward. Yeah. And also, you know, you have to have a mental resilience in the marathon. Yeah. It does get you, no matter how many you've done. Yeah. You've done loads. Yeah. You know, you've all done around the table, and it doesn't get any easier.
It's always a point where you think, can't do this.
Exactly.
Stop, and then
everyone gets hard.
Everybody,
it really does. So you know, it's a proper mental battle as well.
Yeah.
So you'd done in majors then up to Berlin. Yes, I've done
London,
3.
New York, Berlin.
Yeah.
Done Manchester twice.
Yeah.
So in your marathon journey, what came next?
So a bit of a disaster, really. So I said I'd got a bit of an ankle niggle in Berlin. It wasn't really anything I was worried about particularly, but I started running again kind of after that, and I did a run called the Chicken Run, because with Jenny I'd started doing all sorts, you know, from the Sizzlers to the Run Northwest 10Ks and, you know, Bowstones, Whaley Waltz, all of those. So lots of different terrains and, you know, all of that. And anyway, so I was doing the Chicken Run in Hayfield, that's Easter time. And basically, it's because it's at Easter, and also you can chicken out. There's an 8-mile route, but you can do a 6-mile route as well. So that's I think why they call it. But unfortunately, I went over on my ankle like the first mile in, and it's just a bit of a disaster because on these trail races, I know I was only a mile out. But you're like, well, what do I do? I'll just keep going, see how it is. I might get through it.
I'll be fine.
I'll just run it off.
Yeah.
So you go on a little bit further, and then you realise that it's equidistance to going back to the start or going to the finish. What do I do? I'm just stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, sensible thing is just to do the shortcut. So
Yeah.
I did the 6 miles, but it was really difficult. The terrain was tough. And also, I can't remember, there must be a part where the fast runners were coming past because they'd done their loops, and you're just on a single track.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want to hold the guys flying through, so I'm moving to the side every time, and you just, losing your footing. It was really, really hard work. But I kind of got to the end, just limped to the end. And actually there was someone doing massages there. And I happened to know her husband. He's a sports massage guy, but she was a physio as well. So I said, would you look at my ankle? She said, I don't think you've done anything major.
Yeah.
Just a bit of rest, ice compression, elevation and all of that. So I rested it. So this was about the March time. I rested it. Started running on it again. Something didn't feel right. So I rested again. It was like my foot, my ankle, my foot was really tight. It's just something wasn't right. So I went to see the physio. We kind of was working on, I don't know, it was tight Achilles or something. I had loads of physio. Nothing was really working. Went to another physio. Tried other things and nothing was really working either. So I think we were kind of getting to around April time. And I wasn't really running. I'd kind of have a rest, and then I'd try back a park run, and all I could think about was my foot's not right.
Yeah.
I tried the Offerton 5 as a bit of a run out, and I thought it felt good then, but it really, I don't know, it just wasn't right. So I was chatting to a friend about it, and she was like, you've got private healthcare, why don't you go and get a scan? Because I was worried about, I had Chicago, was my next major in October, and I thought I'm going to have to start training for that soon.
Yeah.
I can't train if this isn't right.
Yeah.
So I booked to see a consultant. He sent me off for a scan, and I had the scan. I went to get the results, and that was May 31st. And basically, I walked in thinking they're going to say, "Oh, it's this, rest up, do these physio exercises, and you'll be back." But what I was told was actually, your tibialis posterior is 90% ruptured. It's frayed like a rope. You've got 10% left of it. You're going to have an operation, and you might never run again.
Oh gosh.
That must have, it was like really painful to run on, because that's what I had in
Oh, was it?
23 when I was in the tour.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
ruptured my posted tendon. Yeah, but it got to that level, and mine was really painful.
It was just, my foot just felt really tight all the time. I wasn't in pain. I just knew it wasn't right. Yeah, just the tightness of it. I couldn't feel my foot sometimes. It was a bit weird like that. It's just...
Yeah, like numb.
Yeah. I didn't feel I was in control of my foot.
Yeah. That's what it does, it stabilises.
Yeah. So it was just weird.
So you got that fixed in the end? Did you have an operation then?
No. So, well, first off, I had to deal with being told that I might never run again. So after that, I went off to the loo and just kind of wailed like a baby, to the point where when I came out, there was a nurse by the door going, "Are you okay in here? Someone's heard that someone's upset in here.
I can't run Chicago Marathon."
Are you okay? And I was basically like, I've been told I'm never going to run again. And you have to put it in perspective, I hadn't been told I had cancer.
Yeah.
I'd just been told I might never run again.
It's a big thing though when running is...
But when that's your identity,
Exactly.
your life,
Yeah.
I really loved running. I felt I'd found my passion.
Yeah.
And to be told that, and you're just like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
This can't be right. It really can't be right. I've been running on it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So what did you do physically then?
So I just, he was like, "You're going to have to stop running, because if you carry on..." And then he was saying, and there's a time frame for us to operate on this, because you might get flat foot syndrome. And then, of course, you're Googling all of this. And God, it looked like running would be the least of my worries. I could barely get a shoe on and walk.
Yeah.
So I just thought, oh God. So anyway, I decided, okay, I've got to stop running and get this
Yeah.
sorted out. So Bramhall Runners were on tour at Alderley Park Run, and I just said, right, this is my last run for a while. Happened to be my birthday as well. It was all a really sad occasion. So I did a run, and I was like, right, that's it. I've just got to sort this out. I kind of, it's really difficult because you actually feel like you're grieving for something, you're grieving for a loss, and I don't want to make I don't want to make it sound trivial in the whole kind of scheme of things, but you really do feel like
it's a loss.
a loss, and you're like, well, what am I going to do? So my in-laws are medics. My brother-in-law is an orthopaedic surgeon, and so he recommended going to see a guy called Tim Clough, who deals with professional footballers, rugby players, used to dealing with elites. So I was like, right, okay. So I went off to see him, and he basically concurred that yes, it's ruptured, but actually I might be able to have some orthotics fitted. Right. That might help in the meantime. It supports the foot arch. That's what your tibialis posterior does, and that might, allow me to carry on running. So I was like, okay, right. Well, there was a bit of hope then. So he referred me to a podiatrist, and he was like, this is a slow return. You've got to be really sensible. So I did say to him, so do you think I might be able to do Chicago in October? There's a theme. He was like, when is it? And I was like, October. He was like, no. So I was like, oh shit, right, okay.
But you got that place through sports talk?
I got that in the ballot, actually.
Right.
So I was like, oh God, right, okay. So anyway, got an appointment to see Steve Lyons from UK Podiatry. He's the Man United podiatrist. Went to see him, emailed ahead kind of about 2 full side of A4, my woes, my story, what I needed from him. And you know what? He was just brilliant. He's a runner himself, does triathlons, just gets it. And I think that's a really important thing. You've got to see people who get it. Like,
does make a difference.
If you go to a doctor and say my knee hurts when I'm running, they just say give up running then. And
it's like you with your iron, isn't it? Go to your GP, your iron levels are fine. They're fine on the on like NHS, they're fine, but actually
just basically you're alive.
That's sufficient. So be happy.
Or just stop running then, just don't run as much. It's like that's not the answer, is it?
It isn't. So you have to find the people that get it as well. So he was brilliant, and he was like, right, he said, I'm with you on this, and I'll support you. He was like, the orthotics normally take a couple of weeks. I'm going to get these rushed through. Come back and see me next week. We'll have the fit in. He was like, have you cancelled Chicago yet? And I was like, no, I just can't face it. I'm not doing it. And he was like, well, hang fire. He said, we might be all right. So I just went out of there with a spring in my step, and I was just, wow, the dream might not be over yet, I'll have to be, sensible. But I saw Andy Renshaw at Harrison Ross as well, physio. He was absolutely brilliant too. He's ex-physio for Liverpool Football Club. Again, gets it, dealing with people who've got these problems all the time. And again, he was like, I think we can get you back up and running. Just absolutely, wow. He was just like, it's biomechanics. He was like, if we support your arch, running should still be okay. So again, that kind of gave me a lift, and I was thinking, right. But, Steve Lyons was very, he said, you're going to have to train really differently. He was like, you can't train 2 days in a row. You've got to make sure your foot's recovered. No speed work, no hills, no trails, running on the roads. He said you need to run on the right-hand side of the road, left pavement for the camber to help support. I'm in a stability trainer now as well as having the orthotics. And he was like, it's just a slow return, build it up, and just see where you get to. There was no guarantee. It still could have ruptured, still could have had the operation, but there was hope.
And it healed?
No, so
Oh.
it's not healed,
Oh,
so I
okay.
still manage it.
Right, okay.
So
it's a case
all of the
managing it,
running
yeah.
I've done since,
Yeah.
I've still got it. You know, I don't
Right.
walk around bare feet.
Right.
My arch is always supported.
Yeah.
I've got, you know, orthotics in kind of my casual trainers as
Right,
well.
okay. So you manage it.
I
though?
manage it, yeah.
Yeah. And you got to Chicago then. You did
Okay.
Chicago.
Dave's got 2 questions left.
No, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Sorry, he's just flowing. Sorry.
I did tell you I can talk about running.
Dave kept pointing over going, I could see him, he was going, yeah, that one's gone. That one's gone. That one's gone.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep going then. I'll hand over to Dave for one question. No, so come on, tell us about Chicago. We'll be on yours next. Chicago.
When you get to Dublin, we'll stop it.
Right, okay.
You can hand over.
Sorry, me and Katie are just catching up.
Literally
with
get
that.
to Dublin.
So shall we just go to the
Yeah, so basically I was like, Chicago, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I would rather go, try, and I would have walked it. It didn't
Yeah,
matter. I didn't
yeah.
know whether I trained for 12 weeks. I hadn't gone over. I'd done one 20-mile run because I wanted to make it to the start line.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to rupture before I got there. And so, I'd run 3 times a week, no speed
Yeah.
work, all easy runs. It was just about getting to the start
Yeah.
line. So off we went. And like I said, I'd rather go and try and have no regrets
Yeah.
than go, do you know what, I don't know if I should do it.
Yeah.
You've got to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know, what have I lost? Okay, it might take me a long time. I'll crawl over the line if I have to.
I know, but what will people do to get a place in those marathons? sometimes?
Exactly.
So,
You know, we'd got it all booked as well.
Absolutely,
I had a friend, he was doing it as well. I'd never done a majors
Yeah.
where I knew somebody.
Yeah.
So off we went and started off, and I just thought, right, I'm just going to run comfortably, no pressure,
Yeah.
not even really looking at my watch. Well, I wasn't, apart from I decided to distract me because obviously you've only ever really run for PBs.
Yeah.
I had to do something else. So I decided that every mile I would just take a photo. I'm documenting this. This is just a different journey.
Yeah.
So did that, and Chicago was amazing, and I actually ended up finishing in 4:10. Which was quite incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I had five hours
Yeah.
at least in my mind.
Yeah.
But you know, that was all just at comfortable
What was your
pace.
training like then in the build up to that?
Training was literally 3 times a week on a Wednesday, Friday, 6 miles.
Yeah.
Easy, chatty. Long run, easy, chatty.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, sure she's like.
Yeah.
It shows as well the fact that there was no pressure on you,
Yeah, exactly.
and you were
yeah.
able to just take your
Take
time with it.
take
and
a
then,
photo.
Yeah.
Honestly,
did you enjoy that one? Then?
It's really, I'll come on to it, but it's liberating.
Yeah.
Did you supplement that with any cycling or swimming or anything like that? Because we had Sarah Brown from Stockport Harriers on recently, and she said something similar. She was struggling with an
she
injury,
did,
and
didn't she
she ended up doing
running, didn't she, for one?
mostly
Yeah.
cycling in her build-up.
Yeah. That was New York, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
I
Yeah.
did have a little dalliance into cycling when I had my injury, but it didn't really work out. I fell off my bike, injured my
Oh,
shoulder.
no.
So I kind of left
can
off,
resonate.
leave the cycling. So no, I think at that time it was just running. That was it.
So we'll have to stay on it now. So after Chicago, then what was your next? Your next was one of the majors.
So
Come back to the
Chicago,
others.
I think it was Tokyo. Yeah. So that was 4. Where are we up to?
So we're on
So
4.
London 4.
Yeah, so it would have been
What was 5? Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tokyo. So yeah. So Chicago. That was October. In November, I started strength training,
Yeah.
and this has been a game changer.
Right.
Absolutely. I wasn't actually necessarily doing it for running, even
Yeah.
though we all know we should do
Yeah.
strength training, and we just don't. But I was heading to 50, midlife. I knew it was really important,
Yeah.
you know, to kind of, for muscle mass, bone density, managing perimenopausal
Yeah.
symptoms and all of that. So I got a personal trainer Basically, I see her once a month, but she does an online plan for me because I've got a few weights at home and stuff. So I started doing strength from November, twice a week. I'm not powerlifting, but I'm, lifting heavier than a 2 kg dumbbell and all of that. But I was actually really enjoying it. Really made me feel strong. And yeah, I mean, I don't test myself on my running really anymore because it's all easy pace. And I'm happy with that. Very sociable. But actually, I really enjoyed the strength training. I knew that it was going to be good for my running. And long term, I want to do this for the rest of my life. So I went into Tokyo. That was the sports tours. Actually, kind of we all went. The family came as well, and we basically did a city break, long haul city break. But Tokyo, I mean, it's a weird major. You really wouldn't know that was going on in Tokyo, unless you're there for it, because unlike everywhere else, you've got the flags going up and everyone's excited about it. They literally put their start line up probably early hours before the race. Dead strict cut-off times. They've got ropes and sweeper buses, and
you see them on socials. They're literally like walking across with tape,
and if you're not in there, they're really strict. And then it's taken. I mean, they're super efficient. Japanese, but Tokyo was really good. Again, I was just kind of running to get it done. And actually, it's quite a boring course, Tokyo, because there's a few out and backs, and I really wasn't looking forward to those. But actually, on one of them, I was going out, and the elites were coming back, so I was able to stop, take a picture, watch all those go through. So you do have to have a bit of a word with yourself and just say, this is lucky to be here and lucky to see that, because I wouldn't see that. I know you've got that stretch in London, but if you're not fast enough to be up there, so that was just incredible. So Tokyo, I think that was 4:10, 11, something like that. So again, just kind of easy running, easy pace. It's a funny supported marathon as well, because I mean, everyone said the Japanese will be really quiet, but actually if you engaged with them and had a bit of interaction, they were cheering you on and all of that. But that was Tokyo.
And then
so
Boston,
got that done.
You've just done.
And then Boston,
And are you glad that you've done all the majors then?
Oh yeah.
What about Sydney and Cape Town's going to be next?
I don't know. It's weird. So the 6 was always my goal. They're shifting the goalposts. And all the other 9, as they will be, and they'll do a 9-star medal. That's coming. So Sydney, Cape Town, Shanghai, it's a long way to go. And I won't never say never. Maybe I'm waiting for the kids to kind of move, and we can do it. Me and my husband can do it on our own, but they won't allow that either. So
it's always going to be the 6, really.
I think so. That's just a huge achievement to do that, and I'm really chuffed. And
So what would you say to somebody else who might want to be thinking of the majors? Or
I think you have to work out how you're going to get to Boston.
Right.
If you are a speedy runner and are, likely to get a qualifying time, that's fine.
Why is that the hardest one to get in?
Yeah, because you have to get a qualifying time, or you go through sports tours, or charity, but it's $10,000, $15,000, and they're all American charities, so I think it's quite difficult as a UK runner to raise for an American charity. But sports tours, because obviously I think they get about 30 places. Theirs is on a loyalty basis. So the more tours you do with them, the higher up the list you are. So if you think you're going to qualify for Boston, that's fine. You don't have to worry about doing any with sports tours. But if you're not, marathon tours do it as well. You really need to build up some races. Now, with them, you don't have to do marathon. They do halves as well. You can do a few of them. And actually, I ended up doing a few more to make sure I was top of the list, because I didn't think I'd get a qualifying time. So I think that's the key. Work out how you're going to get to Boston, and then work back. And work out how you're going to get into London.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, well done. I'll hand over to Dave.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode.
marathon special.
Okay, right, I did have 5 questions. I've got one left, but I will take some of Callum's as well. Okay, so moving on. You ended up coaching at Bramhall while you were injured, just to stay connected with the sport. So how did seeing other people's progress help heal the frustration of not being able to run yourself?
I was really, really lucky. Steve Hughes, who runs the 7:30 Wednesday sessions, I'd messaged him and told him what was happening, and he was like, look, actually, I've got a suggestion for you. Why don't you come help me out with training? I'm coming back from injury. It'll allow me to do some of the session, get my fitness back, and it keeps you connected to Bramhall. Because I think when you're not running, you're just like, well, I'm not going to go to training. I'm not going to see my friends. How do I see my running friends if I'm not running, you know? So I was like, well, okay then. So I went along, and he would just kind of tell me what the session was. I'd tell everybody what to do, and you know, you're a bit kind of like, oh, I'm just trying to tell people what to do now. It's a bit difficult, but I really grew in confidence, and actually I really, really enjoyed it, because I think I've always really enjoyed being invested in other people's journeys, supporting theirs on there, seeing how, you know, how they get on, finding out, you know, how the races have gone, and, you know, giving a load of kudos out on Strava and all of that. So I actually think that it got me onto a kind of journey that I'd kind of known was probably there, but actually allowed me an avenue to fulfill that and support other people on journeys. You know, I have always enjoyed helping people on marathons, if I can just tell them 2 things that might make the experience a bit better, and just helping people. And so actually I started to find that really fulfilling, to go along, you know, see new runners who joined and how they improved over the weeks, and, you know, getting people kind of motivated and really enjoying running, and all the aspects of that. So I enjoyed that. I was kind of doing that informally for a few months, and then I thought, you know what, actually I asked Julie if I could do the Leader in Run Fitness qualification. So I was probably coaching nearly a year before I did that. I did that, and then I coached the sessions. Steve's still there with me on Wednesday night, and I really, really enjoy it. So because I actually couldn't train with Bramhall runners anymore because of my injury, because I couldn't do speed work, I couldn't go on the track, I had to make sure that, you know, it wasn't hill work. So you're picking and choosing, you know, few and far in between training. And actually I started just going out on a Wednesday morning on my own, doing my training, so I could be free on a Wednesday night to you know, coach with Bramhall runners.
When we had Sarah Barron on as a previous guest, she mentioned about the Bramhall Runners sessions. Just remember which track they're on.
Macclesfield.
Macclesfield,
yeah.
I thought it was, yeah.
Wednesday, 6:30.
Yeah. Okay, probably a good time to ask this question then. If anybody listening wanted to join Bramhall Runners, how would they go about doing so?
So they've got a website. There's contact Judy Fairclough. It's a really, really nice club. I love it. It's inclusive. We've got fast runners, we've got slower runners, and everyone in between. And I think everyone's really supportive. We have lots of park run on tours, so different, back kind of once or two a month, different venues. Now I wouldn't have gone to a lot of these park runs if I didn't know a group was going. I probably wouldn't have gone on my own, but it's just really nice, supportive, inclusive, very community minded.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, of course, Bramhall, I think we've mentioned it on the podcast before, it was the first park run in the north of England to start up.
Yeah.
And I think it was actually the 5th in the UK, so yeah, it's quite an iconic
running
part.
heritage.
It's definitely some running heritage. Okay, so I wanted to ask as well about Dublin 2023. So we've already touched on your marathon majors, but in Dublin 2023, you ran what you described as a surprise PB. So you were managing your foot injury at the time, and you had your pacing guardian angel named Gary. So how on earth did you run a 4-minute PB when you thought your peak years were behind you?
Yeah, I do often think about that myself, really. It was weird. Dublin was just an extra marathon to get up the list of sports tours. It was my 3rd marathon that year. I hadn't done that many marathons before. But I went into I've done Paris after Tokyo, 5 weeks after Paris, and I've done 4:08 there. That was another add-on to get onto the top of the list. What do you want to do to run another marathon? I'll do some more marathons, thanks. So yeah, I'd gone into Dublin, and a friend had said, what do you want to do in Dublin? And I'm not focused on times anymore, but I do like to do well, and I do like to set myself a time. So I said, probably I'd like to beat Paris, so maybe 4:05. Then when we got to Dublin, actually I felt really good. I felt really strong. I'd carb loaded well. I just got to the start line and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go for sub 4 today. But I was thinking 3:58, 3:59. But I hadn't done a sub 4 since Berlin, and I thought, I think I could probably do it today. So I got on the start line, and I mean, Dublin's not even a super flat course either. It's quite undulating. So they had these balloons with the pacing on it, and I happened to be near the 3:50, and I thought, I don't need to be that fast, I'm just going to hang back. Started the race, as I usually do. I'm hand slapping all the kids along, because that's what I do now. I enjoy myself in marathons. And just running, and I don't really know how it happened, but when we were going into Phoenix Park, and I think that's about 6 miles, and as on marathon courses these days, there's loads of bike lanes. You get curbs for the cycle paths and all of that. And as we were going into park, there was a cycle lane, but obviously there were tracks as well. And I just said to this guy, mind the bollard, I'm going in the cycle lane. So off I went running. Carrying on, and then I think about 12 miles, I heard this voice was like, I'm still here, how are you doing? And I was like, all right. And I think it was the guy from the park. Yeah. And I was like, all right. I said, but, it's start getting tough now, been okay to halfway. And then I think, like I said, this is patchy in my memory, I think he said, why don't we pace each other? So I was like, all right, okay then. So off he went for the next mile. We were running about 8:30-minute miles. I felt really, really good at this stage, but obviously that's no guarantee at 18 miles, is it? So he goes off for the first mile, drops back, I go off for the next mile. And that's it. That is us pacing each other every mile, taking it in turns. And I think we got to about mile 23 and he started pulling away. I mean, he was doing a lot of the heavy lifting towards the end. And I was just like, looked at my watch and I was like, if I'm going to do, I don't know, sometimes everything comes together. Unexpectedly sometimes. Yeah. So your stars align, you meet a pacing angel called Gary, and anyway, I looked at my watch, and even with my basic maths, I thought I'm on for a really good sub 4 here. And then I was just running. I was getting loads of messages on my watch, and people must have been looking at my time going, and my husband said he was refreshing the app going, she can't be going that fast. So I came in at 3:49:30.
Wow, that's brilliant.
So a 4-minute PB.
Yeah.
And it was just incredible. So anyway, my mate Gary had gone off, but he found me at the end, and we just had, massive embrace, and he'd done really well. He'd not got a time like that for a while, so we still keep in touch now. He messaged me yesterday, asked how I'm getting on, so we always say, what marathons we're doing, and he's great, supportive, and it was just, I think it was the strength training. There's no, they were the times I wanted to be doing when I was at my peak, and I just wasn't managing it. I had nothing different in my training. I still wasn't doing any speed work. I'd actually considered someone had offered to pace me, who I met in Tokyo at Dublin, and I'd asked Andy, my physio, and I said, because I thought, you get quite excited about training for a fast marathon again. And I said, what do you think? And he was like, listen, he said, it's just a risk. He said, the faster you go, the more pressure goes through your tibialis posterior. And he said, you've got to make a choice. Do you want to, carry on running, or is it worth it? So I was like, okay, fine. But I guess because I didn't train all those miles at speed, anyway, I just did it, and it was fine.
Just on Dublin, would you recommend that race?
Yeah, I really liked it actually. Really liked it. It's gone to a ballot now.
That's it.
Unfortunately, but
they're just getting more and more popular marathons everywhere, aren't they?
It does quite good for age. You can use a good for age time 2 years in a row. So I think this year I still could have got a good for age time on my Dublin.
What time of year is it, Dublin?
October, yeah. It's really nice, really well supported. Obviously, Irish great, brilliant hospitality. The course is quite undulating, But I think you really benefit. You're basically uphill, downhill.
Yeah.
As I can remember, it's probably not not like that. But I really enjoyed Dublin. It's obviously become one of my favourites now.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask you as well about Wilmslow Half in 2025. So you told us you had the worst headache of your life and were eventually blue lighted to Salford Royal with a brain hemorrhage. So even with an IV drip in your arm, you were asking if you could run Boston 4 weeks later. Looking back, can you tell us about what happened that day and how you dealt with it?
Yeah, so I'd gone off to do Wilmslow Half. I've done that a number of times before, always really enjoy it. And actually it was, I was in training for Boston. I'd actually got a surprise place that year. I'd missed out when they'd allocated the places, hence why I'm kind of adding more to my list with sports tours to make sure I was top of the list next time. But someone had to drop out, so I got a call in about the January saying, look, you're top of the list, do you want a place in Boston? No. Did I hell? Yeah, absolutely. So, and actually, I'm running all the time. I wasn't too far out of a plan anyway, so kind of started training for that. And it was exciting because 3 other Bramhall runners were doing it that year. Matt de Schoolmeister, Sam Jones and Sarah Barron is one of my running besties, so that was all really exciting. So Wilmslow was just part of the training. But actually, a friend of mine, he was pacing the 1:45, and I'd had quite a good half kind of at the end of the year, because Wilmslow's in March, isn't it? Yeah. At the Manchester half. And I thought, why not? I'll go for it, right? I don't ever train at these paces anymore, but I kind of, with a bit of a combination of some self-belief and actually, who cares? Let's go out at the pace. If you blow up, it really doesn't matter. There's no pressure.
There's always an argument as well for you pin a number on it.
There's
becomes possible shifts a little bit.
No pressure on me at all now. So, but I just thought, I'll go for it. So I started off with them, and then at about 4, I was going well. At 4 miles, I thought, God, I've got a bit of a headache. That's a bit odd.
Did you feel totally well at the start?
Absolutely. Yeah, nothing. I'd not even had headaches leading up to this, and thought that's a bit odd. And you think, am I dehydrated? But I'm so on top of all of that stuff. I had been out for dinner with friends the night before, but I'd been water all night because I knew I wanted to go for a time. So I was like, that's just a bit weird. Okay, I'll just slow down. So I let the 1:45 pack go. I was like, just finish this, still all miles in the bank for Boston. And then it just started getting worse and worse and worse. And then like 7.5 miles, I just thought, if I don't stop and I black out because of the pain and I fall and injure myself and I do damage for Boston, that is not going to be good. So I kind of pulled over and spoke to a marshal, and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, not really. I said, I've just got such a bad headache. And people don't know, but I had the worst. I literally described it as the worst headache of my life. And she was like, do you want me to call you in? And I'd never not finished a race before either. So then you got that. And of course, 7.5 miles, I am slap bang in the middle. What do I do? How do I get back? Anyway, I sat down and then I just thought, I can't carry on. So I was like, call me in. So anyway, the medics came, picked me up in the car, took me to the ambulance that parks at Mobley Vets. They checked me out there, couldn't really see anything. It was fine. So I had to call my husband to get him to pick me up without kind of worrying him. But I just couldn't process anything. I couldn't think. And, my husband's like, where shall I pick you up from? Because obviously all the roads are closed. And I was like, I don't know. And then someone was going, he can pick you up from over there. And I was like, oh, God, I just can't think. So someone said, the sweeper bus is coming through. Do you want to get on that? So I thought that was a good idea at the time because it's warm, it's safe, it will get me to the finish line. Yeah. But obviously it goes very slow. And that's not knocking anybody, but that is its job to go behind the last runner. Yeah. Okay, so I understand that. But my husband's like phoning me going, where are you? And I was like, I'm on the sweeper bus. He was like, are you moving? And I was like, yeah, just about. So anyway, got to the finish line, and then I just I wasn't really very coherent and couldn't talk, and I was violently sick going down the A34 on the way home with my dry robe as a portable bucket. So anyway, basically I went straight to bed. And as I said, my brother and my in-laws are medics, and my husband's mum had phoned them and kind of just said what happened, and they were like, right, she's got to go to Stepping Hill and get checked out.
Yeah.
So my husband wakes me up and he's like, we've got to get to Stepping Hill, and I was like, no, I'll be fine, I'll just sleep it off, it's okay. He's like, look, they're insistent. So 3 o'clock we go off to Stepping Hill, check in, and I have a CT scan, and you know, the headache's still there.
Yeah.
It's still really bad, but I'm feeling like it's kind of, you know, going a bit and getting a bit easier. So sit there, and I said to my husband, God, if we get out of here at 8 o'clock, we'll be all right. Anyway, then after my scans, the doctor came out in the waiting room, and I'm thinking, well, there's nothing wrong here because I'm in the waiting room.
Yeah.
If there was something wrong, I'd be going into a bay. And then she said, well, we've had the results of your scan. We have found something. We've found a bleed on your brain.
Oh, wow.
I was just like, what? And then of course you can't even think about anything there. And then she was like, we're just working out whether we're going to treat you here or send you to Salford Royal. They've got a special neurological unit. Anyway, like within 10 minutes, I was on a stretcher in the ambulance, blue lighting across. Chatting randomly about strength training to the paramedics, as we do. So anyway, get to Salford. I've got to have more scans. But to be fair, I saw the doctor I saw at Stepping Hill was like, look, if there's a bleed to have, this is the one. It's, you know, it's localised. It's a small area, but I can't tell you any more than that. And then when I saw the consultant at Salford A&E, he was like, I've seen your scans. He was like, he said, I don't think it's an aneurysm. He said, but I can't be 100% sure until I do more scans. He said, I think it is quite localised. There's just one patch. And he said, and because you're kind of chatting and you're with it, he said that's all really positive signs. So, you know, fingers crossed. So I went off for more scans and I was admitted onto the ward early hours. And then the consultant came round on the Monday lunchtime and basically said that I'd had a brain hemorrhage. It was a non-aneurysmal subarachnoid hemorrhage. Basically, one of the blood vessels in my brain had just kind of popped, like burst. So it released all the blood in your brain water. But actually, it was like a light bulb popping, so it wasn't causing any more damage. It was kind of just dead, done and dusted. But your brain doesn't like its water being contaminated, so it can't work efficiently and effectively. So basically I was the rest in recovery was to flush all of the blood out. Right. So then all that was on my mind from dropping out in Wilmslow, even though I had the worst headache of my life, was what about Boston? Right, it's 4 weeks away.
Typical runner's mentality.
Because this is it. This is the big one. This is for the 6-star.
Yeah.
So most people medically I'd asked, do you think I'm still going to be able to run Boston Marathon for you? Anyway, when the consultant came round, he said to me, right, blah, 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 told me all about it, and he said, 6 weeks rest and recovery. And my face just must have dropped. And he said, have I said something to upset you? And I said, I've got Boston Marathon in 4 weeks' time. And he was like, looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, so can I still do it? And he was like, no. He's like, you've had a very serious life event here. And he said, and I can guarantee you won't feel like running a marathon in 4 weeks' time. I was like, but it's Boston, it's my 6-star. And he was like, I can tell this is really important to you, but you will have to rest and recover. So that was that.
Oh no! Oh God! Well, Callum's going to pick up the story now. Where are we up to? You're going to ask about the recovery and running Amsterdam and Valencia.
Yeah. So you proved your recovery by running Amsterdam and Valencia sub 4 just months later. Did those races feel like a bit of a victory lap for your health rather than just another 2 marathons? And,
yeah.
And what was the build up as well to them?
Yeah. So, like with the brain hemorrhage, when I asked the question, can I run Boston in 4 weeks' time, I didn't really appreciate the seriousness of it, to be fair. So it sounds really flippant when I say that, but you know, when I was in hospital, actually I felt okay. I was getting up, chatting, getting showered, dressed, all of that. But I think when I came home, you're on adrenaline in hospital. You're not resting.
Yeah.
And when I got home, my brain was like, right, we are shutting you down. I can't do what I need to do. I can't do all of this when we're trying to, you know, it's not like when you break your leg, you rest it. Your brain is just on all the time.
So is this the part of like it flushing, like
Yeah.
your brain flushing that
Yeah.
out? Right.
So, I mean, I didn't have a brain injury or anything like that. It's just got to clear itself out. But it couldn't work properly. So, I was, compos mentis, but I just, for the first 2 weeks when I got home, my brain was like, that's it, shutting down. And I basically slept for 2 weeks. Like, barely, breakfast in bed, barely got, and then I was just back to sleep. So that was kind of 2 weeks just sleeping. And it's weird actually, because the same water from your brain goes down into your spinal cord. So when it's all flushing out, like the next day when I was in hospital, I was like, God, my bum's really sore. And I thought, I only ran 7.5 miles, within a marathon training, that is not your glutes going.
Yeah.
But actually, because the spinal cord was being affected by all of that as well. So, the human body is absolutely incredible. And I mean, when I was in hospital and he said 6 weeks rest and recovery, I've never been signed off work in my life. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'll be all right in 3 weeks. I'll be up doing all the jobs I need to do, and I'll clear out those cupboards and I'll sort that out. But that just wasn't the case. And everyone said to me, you will not do nothing for 6 weeks. But actually, I didn't have any choice. I couldn't do it. So, I had visitors for an hour, then I had to go back to bed. I thought I was going to smash through Netflix box sets. I could watch an hour at a time, go back to bed. That was, for about 3 or 4 weeks. Started doing some walking, but basically I didn't exercise for 6 weeks. And, normally when we're injured, we start panicking about this. But I had no choice. I just had to accept it.
Was it hard to then accept that then? Because we always say as runners, it's really difficult just to accept that you can't run for a couple of days. Was it that? How long did that acceptance take?
It was immediate because I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I live half a mile from Bramhall Park. I couldn't even walk to Bramhall Park until like 4 weeks. Yeah. We used to have to park near Bramhall Park and get into it to take our dog for a walk.
Because that's the difference with other injuries, like your foot. You could carry on.
Exactly, yeah.
Whereas at this, I guess you just couldn't.
Yeah, just couldn't.
So you had no.
And I was told
Yeah.
nothing for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you have to take on board what people tell you. And like I said, physically, I just couldn't do it. Just really couldn't. But after my 6 weeks, I'd kind of rested. And actually, the consultant and the nurse were really encouraging. And, they said you need to get back to doing everything you did before to prove your recovery. So I'd started back running after 6 weeks, literally 2 miles,
Were you
3
anxious
miles.
when you went to that
Yeah,
first run?
yeah, because you don't know.
Yeah.
I was given all clear. The rest of my brain was fine, and it was random.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I was running. It
Right.
wasn't because I was running at effort.
Anywhere.
It could happen any time. People are asleep. It happens. People clearing out their cupboards. It happens. So it wasn't anything to do with the running. But yeah,
You still associate though,
you
don't you?
and you're still
Yeah.
feeling groggy.
Yeah.
I had a phased return back to work. I didn't go back to work properly till kind of 8, 9, 10 weeks. So you're still just trying to recover. But I think the frustration was, what I wanted was, because I was a bit kind of fuzzy in my head, when we go out for a run, because we want to clear our heads and you get all the endorphins and you feel really good. I just wasn't quite feeling that, and I just thought, okay. But anyway, it did come back. But yeah, so I did start back off slowly. I'd already booked Amsterdam and Valencia.
Of course you did.
Well, that was pre brain hemorrhage, to be fair. I didn't just go in it going, I'll just do 2.
Sponsoring that.
Can't watch Netflix.
Yeah.
So talk to my family if I can book a marathon.
Get the credit card.
So yeah, they were already booked, but I just thought, well, that's a good opportunity to see how far I've come, really. So I trained for those. I was still, doing my strength training and everything. And actually, like, Amsterdam was really good. And I don't know, maybe I had something to prove to myself as well, because I wanted to go sub 4 for both of them. And so I did push myself. Amsterdam was really good. It's fantastic starting off in the Olympic Stadium and finishing in the Olympic Stadium. You do feel like an elite athlete, like you're in the Olympics for, all of kind of 10 minutes. But yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed Amsterdam. Again, you've got to get back into a mentality, and it does take courage and bravery and determination to go, I'm going to get back on this. Yeah. And then Valencia, you did it yourself, Sean, that was a few weeks later. So I did those, I think there was about 6 or 7 weeks apart. And I do quite like this. This is my new thing, doing 2 marathons for the price of 1 training block. I quite like it. But actually after Amsterdam, my foot really swelled. I don't really know why. I did get checked over. I think there was just a fluid in it. For Valencia, it was okay. But again, kind of back-to-back marathons over Christmas, I was like, right, I'm taking 4 weeks off running. I didn't do any running at all. And I think after that 6 weeks of rest, I am not frightened to rest now.
Yeah.
Because, I know, at the time I was looking at my Strava fitness graph, and I know that's actually not your fitness and all of that, but, in the absence of looking at anything else, because we would be looking at if our scores have improved, yes, it dipped down. And then when I came back up, 6 weeks, I was back at the same levels. I know this isn't fact, and actually since then, since that rest, I am way over the targets. And I know it's all about load and all that at the time, but I'm flying, I'm double what that score was. Yeah. Now, that doesn't prove anything, but what I do know is that rest probably did me a load of good.
But it's a gauge based on science and the data that's been given from your Garmin or whichever into Strava.
Doubled my fitness score.
Yeah. So I'm going to take one of your questions, Sean, because Katie took everyone else's. So Boston, the big one, in 2026. So it was 8 years in the making after all the delays and the Haemorrhage. What was the emotion like when you turned right on Hereford and left on Boston?
Boston Marathon is just incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to have done Boston Marathon would have been brilliant. The fact it's his 6-star as well is just like the icing on the cake, really. The whole of Boston is there for it. Boston itself, you can see the finish line being put up, they're painting the start line, although, it's miles away, you don't see it till you get there. Everyone is into it. And I really wanted to go and absolutely respect Boston Marathon. So, the marathon geek that I am, I bought my little Boston Marathon handbook, which is an absolutely brilliant book about the Boston Marathon, all about the history, people who've run it, people who've won it, stage by stage, the different areas you go through. It was a brilliant book, and I felt, really ginned up on it all. And I think the thing was as well, I was still feeling the pressure of, because nothing's guaranteed until you cross that finish line. As I well know, nothing is guaranteed. So, we're walking about Boston, and I'm just trying to be careful. I mean, my son and I did the Jamaica Pond Park run, and I'm just like, take it easy. I do not want to go over on my ankle. I've got to get to that start line. Yeah. And even though there was no pressure time-wise for me, because I was going out to enjoy every step, every mile, and I did. The pressure of getting on that start line and finishing, knowing that I have to finish this marathon, I have to do this to get my 6-star. Yeah. This is it. It's a one and only chance. I think that, that was a lot. But actually, once you started going, you experiencing the buses, the yellow buses, taking you, the hour's journey, the people you meet, the people you chat to. Once you get started, it was just amazing. I mean, it's 30,000, so half of London. Yeah. It's obviously quite a serious race because there are lots of fast people there. A lot of people want to qualify for next year from that. And actually a lot of people did this year because the weather conditions were perfect. That was actually, I was quite worried about that at one point because it can be anything from rain to snow to wind to sun. But we had the most perfect weather. So I think there was a course record that day. I think we had a tailwind for most of it. So once we got started, 30,000, and everyone's got their head down, they're kind of going for it. There's not many people interacting with the crowd, not many people with their names on the vest. So if you have got your name on your vest, everyone is shouting your name. And if, I can't promise to do this in the last 6 miles, but if someone, shouts my name, I put a thumb up or kind of acknowledge them, and then they're like, oh my God, someone's acknowledged me, shouting your feet even louder. So I did feel like a celebrity, like literally the whole way around. And I'm high-fiving people, and I'm going for kisses in the Wellesley Scream Tunnel, and hand slapping everyone down the Boston College kind of support for half a mile. I really enjoyed it. And, you're pinching yourself going, and then you kind of see that sit-go sign, and that's 25 miles, and you're like, I am nearly there. I've nearly done this. And then you think, because we've been walking about Boston all the time while we're there, and I've been on Hereford and Boylston, and you're just like, wow, I'm now, it's coming up to it. And it's such a goosebump moment. And I was talking
Did you get emotional?
Well, yeah, I mean, you just kind of feel it, but by that time, you're really excited.
Well,
I was talking to someone about it earlier, and I did start welling up because it is really emotional. But you're like, this is it, I'm right, I'm left. And by this time, everybody is shouting for you. And by this time, I'm just like a mad woman going, yeah, come on, yeah. Everyone's shouting Caroline, and I didn't know, but my family had made it back to the finish line. They were on the left, I was run on the right now. I didn't know they were there, but I had a whole new load of supporters to be waving at who were shouting my name, and you can't even see the finish line. You're at the top, but I'm like, I'm on it. I'm on Boylston Street. This is it. And just crossing, I was just like, oh my God.
No.
Thank you.
The picture that you send, I think you've got your arms up, haven't you, just as you're going over it. It's such a good picture, that. Really good.
The pictures from Boston were amazing because I was basically kind of on my own a lot. I mean, the London ones, you can barely pick yourself out, can you?
Where's Wally? That's me.
So, and I was milking it. I was making, sure, every camera, I was, when my kids saw the photos, they were like, did you run the marathon with your arms in the air the whole way round? But no, I was milking it because that is a one and done. And, someone said, oh, would you do it again? Theoretically, yes. But I think it was so perfect. Yeah. I'll never top it.
You don't want
so I'm just parking it and I'm leaving it there because,
Was it your favourite one then?
It is now.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And people always ask you that, and I always used to say, it's like choosing your favourite child.
Yeah.
They're all special for a reason. But Boston for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Really special.
So I've asked my 2 questions. I'm going to hand over to Sean.
Sean's probably got about one left.
Quick fire round.
Park run. We didn't ask about park run. Move on from the marathons.
Well, I've got just one question about the injury that gave you a gifted perspective on things, because having running then losing running does exactly that, because I've spent quite a considerable time, I was like Dave, I was injured in the past year or so. So if a runner's listening to this now struggling with motivation or injury or rehab, what would you say to them?
I think there's a few levels really. I think if you've kind of just lost your mojo, not because of injury, but you just kind of, I don't know, you used to be into running, then life got in the way. Yeah. I think you just need to get back in your routine. I think you probably need to sign up for something to get you in, this is why I'm doing something all the time, because what else is going to get you out on a Wednesday morning, pitch black, lashing down with the rain? If you're training towards something, you tend to kind of commit to it a little bit more. Yeah. So I think motivation that way, you have to get back in your routine. Routine is key. Yeah. Make it easy for yourself to get out. If you go out in the morning, I get all my kit ready the night before, so I don't have to think about anything. The hardest thing is getting out the door, and you never regret it.
Winter is hard, isn't it?
Winter is hard, and that's why I'm normally training for something, because otherwise you'd just stay in bed, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about injury?
I think injury... I actually think that is your time to give back. Get yourself volunteering at Parkrun, right? You can still stay connected. Now, I know some people are like, oh, I can't watch it because I'm not doing it. But you can, I volunteered at Parkrun when I was injured. I'm marshalling at the food banks. I can't do food bank race anymore, so I marshal there. And you do it's so rewarding. And if you've never done it before, get and do it, because... Yeah. After Parkrun, I didn't have a sweaty glow, but I certainly had a glow, because it just makes you feel really good. You're watching other people achieving. you know, and that is just so rewarding. You're supporting people. You know, at races I can't do, like Bowstones, I tend to marshal. I've got myself a cowbell. People hear me before they see me. They know where I am.
Yeah.
And I find that really rewarding, cheering everyone else on.
Yeah, it's just staying involved, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Still got
that is a really good way of doing it. You might not be able to do it yourself, but you can, you know, help everyone else.
Yeah.
And I think also with injury, you've just got to accept that sometimes I have to get myself right before I go back. We always go back too soon. You've not recovered properly. You've not sorted yourself out. You're not ready. And I think when we come back from injury as well, you need to reset, because we're all clinging to how fast we used to run. You know, hold those PBs close to your heart, because no one's taking them from you. But when you come back from an injury, you can't keep comparing yourself to those old PBs. You've got to go, right, okay, I'm going to do a run. What did I do? Okay, that's my benchmark.
Yeah.
And can you improve on that? Because otherwise, we're just killing ourselves with PB pressure.
Wise words.
Yeah, definitely something in the staying involved, and I think routine, staying in a routine, you know, so instead of a run you might be doing a bike ride or elliptical or whatever, just keeping the ball rolling, so you got that routine. Yeah.
Getting good habits with your strength.
Yeah.
I haven't really harped on about strength tonight, but I do, and it's absolutely key.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you do it if it keeps you running longer, injury free, and it'll make you faster in the end? It's just a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
So have you had this desert island run?
Yeah.
Question? Right, okay. So you need to think about your dream run location, the distance you'd run, and the person you'd run with, if that could be anybody or anywhere.
Yeah, so Desert Island Discs is funny. I trained a lot listening to Desert Island Discs for London Marathon and New York as well. I used to really like listening to them. And I did have a think about this. So I like running by the coast. So if we go on holiday, running by the sea, they usually have amazing, not the coastal paths, a bit rocky, but actual proper, you know, paths, and you can run for miles, can't you? So somewhere by the sea, that's what I love when I'm on holiday. And I was thinking about the person, and we all think about runners and stuff, but when I go on a run, I want to have a chat, I want to have fun, I want to have a laugh. And he's not a runner, but he can be on a bike. I really love Bob Mortimer. And I think to go out with him would just be brilliant. So he can be on the bike.
With his laptop doing some songs.
So he can be on a bike, I'll be running. I want at least half marathon, probably a long run, 18, 20 miles, make the most of being with him and him making me laugh. So
Yeah, I think him on What Do I Do?
Oh, he's just brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, good answer. What distance would you get him cycling?
Oh, he
Marathon?
can. Yeah, probably. I don't think I want to run a marathon. 20 miles max. Let's put it at a 20-mile run.
Okay. So we've got the quick fire round now. So cross country, yes or no?
Well, it is a yes. I don't do it anymore because of my foot, but it's a yes.
Yeah. Park run, is it a race or not a race?
I think it's a race if you want it to be. It doesn't have to be. That's park run. It's inclusive. Whatever you want to do.
Okay then. Carbons for park run, yes or no?
Depends on the park run. If it's Alexandra, then fine. If it's Bramhall Park Run, don't bother.
Running any weather or head to the treadmill?
I'll run in any weather, apart from ice. Don't risk it.
Yeah. Stretching or no stretching?
Stretching.
Gym work on Strava, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think as runners, we have to, you know, it is part of your training.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't it be on there?
I don't even know how to put it on.
Just called weight training.
Yeah,
That's
when
all.
you select it, what does it even mean? It's just like, I don't know.
Just you log into it.
Yeah.
That's I'm the same. Yeah, get it on.
It's quick fire. Anyway, come on, Joe. Post-run beer or post-run protein shake?
I'd go protein shake first and then beers later.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Do you stop your watch on a run or not when you stop during a run?
So if I'm at the traffic lights and it's going to be a while, I'll stop it. But the annoying thing is that I sometimes forget to start it.
Yeah.
So I've kind of started not bothering because
So then you have
the
to go
pain.
longer
Yeah.
Because if
And I've
it's
done
not
it.
Strava,
I've gone, oh, bloody hell! still got a mile to do. I've done that mile, but I'm going to have to do an extra mile now. So yeah.
Pushing about mood all day when you do
Yeah.
that. You lose
Yeah,
like, what,
I'm fuming, and I could write I did an extra mile but forgot to stop my watch. But no, I'll just prove a point. I'll make up that mile.
Silly, isn't it, what we do?
track races or no track races?
I'm not a track races.
And ice baths and saunas, yes or no?
I haven't really got into that. I do like a hot bath after running. You know, if you've gone out in the winter training, I get into a hot bath with some Epsom salts. But the ice bath, I don't know. I just...
Yeah.
I think it's meant to be really good. I want to try it.
Yeah,
but
I did it for a little bit.
Yeah,
You did it for a little bit.
Dave's doing it, and it is really good, and it does work in terms of like resetting. You done it, but I love a warm bath as well. I'm like, once I'd left the ice bath in the garden, it started to get that green slime in it and all leaves in it. I was like, oh, too far now. Stick to the bath.
Now, I haven't put my teeth in. Not on there. What's next? Because you've done the majors. What's going to be next? That should have been.
I was going to ask, but I thought.
Yeah.
So I think it's always going to be marathons for me now.
Right.
They give you a challenge every time. It's not like I can go, oh, do you know what? I'll improve my 5k time. I'll improve my 10k time because I can't do that fast running anymore. So marathons is always a challenge. So that's whatever you're trying to do for it every time. So it's still going to be marathons. I'm doing a couple of the super halves. I'm kind of working my way through those as well. So I've got Copenhagen in September, Cardiff in November. No, sorry, Cardiff in October. And then November, I've got Athens Marathon.
Oh, cool.
I think that's probably a must-do for a marathon runner, the original.
I stayed in marathon. I think it was last year, and I ran like the first 15k overall of it. It's brilliant. It's hilly.
Hilly, I know. Yeah.
But it's so good to like the blue lines there all year round.
Oh right, yeah.
So I could run that and follow it. The K markers, they're up all year round.
Fantastic.
So they've just direct on pole. So if you go there,
right.
then the race is
yeah.
And then to be able to finish in the stadium as well.
Yeah. There's something about, I mean, like I said, Amsterdam was a stadium finish and it's incredible, and Athens. I think I've got over but I didn't really like hills, and I've got over that with Boston. I mean, that is really hilly, really tough.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of Athens. Loch Ness has always been on the list, but I've never wanted to do it because it's hilly, but it's meant to be beautiful. I mean, God, there's plenty to be going at.
Yeah.
Good.
I've set myself to get to 20 by the time I'm 55. So.
And what number are you on now?
13.
Right. Okay.
14 at the end of the year.
Brilliant.
Oh, it's really good.
Well, thank you very much for coming on and filling all the questions in very, very well. And this episode goes out. Oh no, it don't go out on your birthday. It goes out a week after your birthday. Really?
So happy birthday.
Thank you.
But yeah,
thanks very much for having me. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, Caroline. Cheers.
That's it for this episode. In our next interview, we'll be speaking to a Wilmslow runner. She has PBs for 5k of 17:16, 10k 35:29, half 79:33, marathon 2:46:54. We'll be speaking to Louisa Whittingham.